Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Hard sport all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show, Tuesday, July 18, 2023. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
I'm going pretty good.
All right, got a pretty good slate of baseball games today. Right after the All-Star break, Reds got off to a rough start after the All-Star break, 0-3, and a tie game last night. It got canceled because of rain, but Giants have runners on second and third with only one out in the eighth inning, so hopefully we can get out of that without giving out any runs and maybe pick up a win, get a little momentum going into tonight's game.
You got runners at second, third. You got lucky and got a ball hit the bottom, got the out, held the runners. You walk this next batter and try to hit a double play?
Probably. I'd have to see where they're at in the lineup, who's up, but I would say they probably will. Let me ask you this, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure on the rule off the top of my head. Bill got thrown out of the game, or no, that wasn't yesterday's game, was it? That's the game. That was the game before he got thrown out.
Yep.
Never mind. So I'll say he got thrown out. If he got thrown out yesterday's game, they didn't get to finish the game. Would he be allowed to be at the end of the day's game?
He got pretty sure got through out Sunday.
Yeah, it was. It was Sunday. Hey, how's it going, Sam? What's up, Glenn? So, yeah, it'd be nice to be able to win that game, then give you a little momentum going into the night's game.
Yeah,
the bats haven't been there. The pitchings have not been bad.
No, the pitching has come through. Having trouble with the bats, but I mean, you're gonna have that score 7 runs every game. I mean, you're gonna have that down. Hopefully, it's just
we
not
went 27 innings without scoring.
That's what sometimes that's your payback.
Rough.
Sometimes
that was rough.
Hopefully, it don't last long. We don't go on 8, 9, 10 game losing streak like you said. Like I said, the key hasn't changed. What you said a month ago, got to win series. It hasn't changed, at least in my opinion.
No, it hasn't. But I mean, we got to get our bats going again. You know they're going to hit. I mean, you have slumps, so hopefully we can get going today. It'd be nice to pick up a win today. Well, it'd be nice if we could get both games, finish that game off, and then get the win, get you up 2-0 in the series against it's a 4-game series with the Giants.
Yes.
Especially after getting swept by the Brewers coming out of the All-Star break. That hurt, especially when your games are 1-0. I mean, games that you're right there and had chances, just couldn't hit the ball.
Yeah. Well, did you notice yesterday they changed the lineup a little bit? They moved De La Cruz batting first. Start the game. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand. He changed the lineup coming out from the All-Star break as well. And it's like the lineup was hitting good. Why are we tinkering with the lineup for?
Well, we started a little bit before the All-Star break, hitting Was
Yeah, but not, I mean,
no, it wasn't. I don't know why you need to make the change. I don't disagree with you.
I don't know. Yeah, I just don't understand why we need to start. Glenn said all that walking he done, he feels like he has new legs. Oh, I bet you did do a lot of walking. I bet Glenn got to see some history. That 3-point contest that Enescu only missed 2 shots. The whole
That's crazy.
going on had 37 out of 40 possible points, and man, yeah, it was. I was watching that. That was crazy. So I know Glenn had to be pretty cool to see in person. So I didn't get to see a whole lot of the All-Star game on Saturday because I was at a wrestling show, but I did watch that 3-point some of that skills challenge in the 3-point contest on Friday. But yeah, it was crazy. She was hitting everything. But all right, we got a pretty good slate of baseball games today. First game you have is the Brewers and the Phillies. Phillies are 1.5 run favorites at home. They're minus 200 on the money line. The Brewers are plus 168 on the money line. Over under is at 9.5 runs. This isn't the game I'm giving out as one of my picks of the day, but I like the Phillies here at home. Plus, I'd like to see the Brewers lose a game, but I like the pitching matchup with Nola on the mound for the Phillies and being at home. So I like the Phillies here on the money line. Yeah, probably made it kind of hard for you guys to see having Billups and Prince in front of you.
Yep.
Then you have the Orioles the Los Angeles Dodgers at the Baltimore Orioles. This game starts at 7:06 p.m. Eastern time. The Dodgers are 1.5 run favorites, plus 102 on the money line. The Orioles are minus 120 on the money line. Over-unders at 9.5 runs. Dodgers came back and beat the Orioles yesterday to kick off that series. I look for the Orioles to bounce back today at home with the Wells on the mound. So especially you can get the Orioles at the plus 1.5. I like the Orioles on the money line as well at the minus 120. And then the first game that I'm actually going to give out as one of my picks today is going to be the Cleveland Guardians at the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Guardians are 1.5 run favorites. They're minus 104 on the money line. The Pirates are minus 112 on the money line. Over under is at 8.5 runs. The Guardians are 46-48 on the season, 22-26 on the road. On the mound for the Guardians tonight will be Allen, who is 3-2 with a 3.47 ERA. Guardians are 2-3 over the last 5 games, hitting .250 as a team with a 3.92 team ERA. The Pirates are 41-52 on the season, 22-24 at home. They will have Keller on the mound tonight, who's 9-4 with a 3.31 ERA. The Pirates have lost 4 games in a row. They're hitting .238 as a team on the season with a 4.38 team ERA. I like the Guardians here at the that's changed. I saw that. Guardians were plus 1.5. So I like the Guardians on the money line at the minus 104. Still gonna stay with the Guardians, but I was gonna go with the plus 1.5. But the run line is flipped on that game. Next game that I like tonight, I'm going to give out pick 4 is going to be the San Francisco Giants and the Cincinnati Reds. The Giants are 1.5 run favorites on the road, minus 134 on the money line. The Reds are plus 114 on the money line. Over-unders at 10.5 runs. On the mound for the Giants is going to be Descalfani, who is 4-8 with a 4.44 ERA. Giants have been playing good baseball. They won their last 5 going into last night. That game has been suspended, and they'll replay that game here or finish that game here in a couple hours at 5:40 Eastern time. With this game supposed to start at 7:11. I have the weirdest start times of baseball, but for the Reds, they are 50-44 on the season, 23-24 at home. They will have Weaver on the mound tonight. He's 2-2 with a 7.00 ERA. Reds are hitting .253 as a team on the season with a 4.80 team ERA. Reds have lost 3 in a row. Going in last night, like I said, that game got suspended. Weaver's ERA isn't great, but when he pitches, the Reds win. And it seems like our offense, we average like 7.5 runs a game when Weaver's on the mound. So for some reason, our offense usually comes alive when he's on the mound. So I'm hoping that happens tonight. Maybe our offense gets back on track a little bit. But so I like the Reds here at the +1.5. Next game I like is going to be the Miami Marlins at the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals are 1.5 run favorites in this game, -158 on the money line. The Marlins are +134 on the money line. Over/under is at 8 runs. The Marlins are 53-43 on the season, 23-34 on the road. On the mound for the Marlins tonight is Cabrera, who is 5-5 with a 4.70 ERA. Marlins are 2-3 over their last 5, hitting .264 as a team on the season with a 4.08 team ERA. The Cardinals are 41-53 on the season, 19-26 at home. On the mound for the Cardinals tonight is Montgomery, who's 6-7 with a 3.23 ERA. Cardinals are 4-1 over their last 5, hitting .256 as a team on the season with a 4.56 team ERA. I like the Marlins here at the +1.5 in this game. And in my last game, I like is going to be the Detroit Tigers, Kansas City Royals. Tigers are 1.5 run favorites on the road, -165 on the money line. The Royals are +142 on the money line. Over/under is at 8.5 runs. The Tigers are 42-51 on the season, 21-26 on the road. On the mound for the Tigers will be Skubal. This will be his season debut. He's 0-0-0 ERA. But Skewball's been a pretty good pitcher the last few years, so he's just getting back into the mix of things. And then you have the Tigers are 3-2 over their last 5 games. They lead the season series versus the Royals 4-2. They're hitting .230 as a team on the season with a 4.39 team ERA. The Royals are 27-67, 14-33 at home. They will have Lynch on the mound, who's 2-4 with the 4.18 ERA. Royals are 2-3 over their last 5. They're hitting .232 as a team on the season with a 5.25 team ERA. I like the Tigers here. Neither one of these teams have been hitting the ball great, but Tigers have a little bit better pitching staff. So I'm going to go with the Tigers on the money line. That's going to be my 4 picks for today in baseball. Guardians money line, Reds +1.5, Marlins +1.5, and the Tigers on the money line.
Okay, my Major League Baseball picks for tonight. I've got 6 of them. I got San Francisco at Cincinnati for the second game, not the first part makeup. I've got Cincinnati. I got them to win money line. I've got Arizona at Atlanta. I'm gonna take Atlanta money line. I've got Washington at the Cubs. I'll take Cubs money line. I got Detroit money line at Kansas City. Boston money line at Oakland, and San Diego at Toronto. I'll take Toronto money.
All right, Reds are. I said Reds were slight underdogs going in yesterday's game, and they're slight underdogs going in today's game. Hopefully they can, like I said, just get the offense going again. That's the big thing. Once we get the bats going again, I think we'll be fine. But you just hate to see everybody go cold at the same time.
Yeah.
A couple guys go cold. That's one thing. We can't have the whole team going cold. But they did get a few more hits in that last Brewers game. Then they scored a couple runs yesterday. So I think the offense maybe they're showing signs of getting back to life. And like I said, if you can get out of this 8th inning here and don't give up any runs, it'd be big. And then you have a couple innings try to score a run or two to win the game. That give you some momentum going in to the game tonight. So,
wonder who they're going to bring out. I don't know if they'll bring out. I doubt they bring out the same pitcher that started the eighth. I mean, I don't know, or pitching the eighth at that point. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not sure what they'll do on that.
that can be tough for a reliever because you're coming out starting things. That's unusual.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what they do there. And then, like I said, with Weaver, it's all about getting out of that first inning. Get out of that first inning without giving up 4 or 5 runs, and you're usually in pretty good shape. Well, hell, even the games he's gave up 4 or 5 runs in the first inning, the Reds have came back and won. But I mean, you don't want to give up 4 or 5 at first. If he can get out of that first, because he usually pitches after that, he'll pitch 3 or 4 pretty solid innings after that. It seems like he's had that one inning.
Yeah,
But his last couple of starts, it seemed his one inning's been in the second or third, but he's only gave up 1 or 2 runs. Hasn't gave up to 4 or 5. So just avoid giving up that big number.
Well, like I said, the Reds pitching has been pretty good. Ashcraft, since he's come back, his first start wasn't good, but since his next 3 starts have been real good.
Abbott's been
pitching
good.
still pretty well, and since what's his name came back,
Lively
doing fine, doing good. So if we can get other pitchers back,
yeah. Well, I mean, hell, we only against the Brewers, we only gave up like probably an average of a couple runs a game, and I mean, you have to have chances to win those games.
Well, they got whole series, the 3-game series, only give like 7 or 8 runs, like you said. Yeah. So I mean, definitely winnable games. We just didn't pick a bad time not to hit. But Milwaukee's had our number at home for about the last 7 or 8 years.
Oh yeah,
we struggle with them, and we really haven't been a very good home team this year. I think if I remember right, you said we're 1 game under 500.
Yeah, better on the road. It didn't start out that way. It started out the opposite way. We were better at home and was really struggling on the road. Then we went on a big road win streak there and really turned that around. I think some of that is our pitching at home because Great American Ballpark, it's a hitter's ballpark, and you go to some of these other diamonds, some of these fly ball outs you get or can carry and be a home run in Cincinnati where they're not at these other places.
That's true, but it seems like we hit better on the road too, though.
Yeah.
that make a lot of
sense.
Yeah,
that don't make a lot of sense. I can understand like the pitching discrepancy could be, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe they can see the ball better. Maybe it's too smoggy in Cincinnati with all these fires going on in Canada.
Maybe. I did have a question for you. Something that's been going on. I wanted to get your take. Who do you think would win? And I was wanting to ask Glenn too, because I know he follows pro wrestler. Ryback hates the WWE and been mouthing off for many years now. And he mouthed off at Booker T, and Booker T's fed up with it and has accepted his challenge to a fight. Who do you think would win between Ryback and Booker T? Booker T's still in good shape, even though I know he's old. Definitely,
that's the only thing that worries me is Booker T's age. If Booker T won, because Booker T's what? He's probably 60, isn't he?
I don't think he's that old. I'd say in his 50s. I don't guess 55, but
I'm still going to go with Booker. But it does worry me about him being a little older. Now, if they were both like, if Booker was younger, it wouldn't even be a question to me. I think Booker
58.
That's the only thing that scares me because Ryback's probably what, 40?
He's still in good shape because he runs that school and everything, and training and everything. So he's still in good physical shape. I think he can still go. And he's from the streets.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I would go with Glenn says Booker. He said, dude, street smart.
And
no, I agree. I'd go with Booker, but that's the only thing that would worry me a little bit. Worries me a little bit is because of
usually the guys that run their mouth so much all the time and try to be so tough.
Yeah,
not always, but a lot of times they're not always the toughest. So I question Ryback a little bit, how tough he really is.
No, yeah.
Not that I want to mess with Ryback. I'm not saying that. I put you up against Ryback, but nothing.
Oh, I bet you would.
You and Glenn tag team Ryback all day long, but I'm staying out of that. I'll be your as manager from the stands.
We'll make sure we pull you out there. No, I would go. I would favor Booker, but that'd be the only thing that would worry me a little bit. Would be just age. But yeah, I don't.
Wonder how old Ryback is.
I'd say maybe Ryback and Curtis Axel can face Booker and Stevie Ray. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would say Ryback. I don't think he's. I was going to say around 40. I guess it could. I mean,
41.
41 was that. But yeah, he's always complaining about something. I saw I saw something that he was complaining about. I forget what it was now. A couple weeks ago.
Says WWE messed with his Facebook and kind of his conspiracy dude a little bit out there a little bit.
That wasn't what the one I had seen, but that don't surprise me.
There's a lot of stuff out there on him. So
that dude. Why did WWE need to mess with his Facebook?
I don't know. He's out there. And he had said that he was getting ready to sign with AEW, and of course, AEW don't want no part of him. Nobody wants any part of him. Nobody's ever.
I did see where that's what I saw that he said that if AEW wanted to beat WWE, they needed to sign him.
Him and Goldberg to match. Everybody would watch that.
I wouldn't watch it. No. But I was never a Goldberg. I was never a big Goldberg fan either.
I wasn't either. I mean,
I know a lot of people were, but I don't know. He's going to play. He's not going to sit out.
Not at $500,000, over $500,000 a game if he sits out. That'd be nuts.
I was going to say, well, if you don't sign the franchise tag and play, that's $10.1 million you lose.
Yeah.
And with the running back market, who knows what kind of sit out. But what's guaranteed that you're going to be able to get $10 million a year next year from a team?
I mean, it sucks.
There's no guarantee with the running back market, so you're not going to ever get that $10 million back. So he's in a situation where you got to play.
It sucks for the running backs. I feel for him. I mean, I know it sounds crazy. I feel for a guy because I think they're worth more than what the market is saying when you compare it. But it is what it is, and it sucks for a guy like Jonathan Taylor, who, and Barkley and a bunch of players.
No, I agree. I think the market for running backs is too low. But the problem is the supply and demand. These teams have been able to go use a running back for 4 years or so, 4 or 5 years, and then find another one and get similar production. So they're not, and a lot of these running backs that they have gave these second or third deals to haven't panned out. I mean, Dallas would give Ezekiel that money, and then look, it went downhill.
About the only one that really panned out is probably the guy from Tennessee.
I mean, well, McCaffrey, but look, he got Carolina signed him to that big deal, and they traded him. You got Henry, that's had good, McCaffrey, but other than them two here lately, there hasn't been running backs that have been like Dalvin Cook. I think Dalvin Cook is worth a lot more than I'm surprised. I can't believe he's not on a team right now. I mean,
because he hasn't been. I mean, he's had some nagging injuries, but he hasn't been hurt a lot. Nothing really serious.
So I mean,
Barkley had a serious injury.
Yeah. Barkley's had a couple years where he's been banged up and hurt, and he's had a couple of real good years. I mean, he's a hell of a player. I think I'd like to see him get a long-term deal with the Giants, but you're also, I don't feel too bad for you because you also have a deal right there to sign your name on where you're getting $10.1 million.
Yep.
I know you don't have that luxury of knowing you got multiple years, but
I know
have another real good season like you did last year, and then they're either going to have to pay you or they could franchise tag him one more time. But
I know Plexico Burris is a guest on the Cartron show, and Cartron both think that they feel like it's tough, but they think the Giants are making a mistake. They don't think they can win a Super Bowl without Barkley. So they think they should sign him, but then again, how much should you sign him for? I mean, I don't know what Barkley's asking for. So, I mean, that's the thing.
Well, I mean, the Giants have made them offers to try to sign him, but the offers wasn't
the same
what
thing
Barkley wanted.
Same thing with the guy with the Raiders, too. Well, matter of fact, they said that the running back for the Raiders, remember his name?
Jacobs.
thought that the deal was going to be signed. His agent was in, and he was outside the stadium. They thought they had something worked out, and it fell through.
I don't know what Giants were offering Barkley, but it probably wouldn't. I'm gonna say it probably was around, probably not too much over 10 million a year. That's probably why he didn't sign it. It was probably maybe 12 a year, maybe 13. I'd say 12 to 13 a year, probably at the most.
Yep. Did have another question for you guys. Also, Glenn, I know he's a big wrestling fan. In your guys' opinion, who's the number one guy in wrestling right now? Overall, not just in ring performer. I mean, number one guy. Who's the guy? Who's the guy selling the tickets? Who's the guy people want to see on TV? Who's the guy?
Right now, it'd have to be Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I think so too. And the reason is I looked at some things from this week and from last week. Last week they had one of the highest ratings they ever had. They had a almost 2.6, 2.7, and like a rating for the 18 to 36 was the highest one they've had in 4 or 5 years. Like a 76 rating. This week he was not on TV, and they dropped about 250,000 people and dropped from a 7.6 to about a 6.2. I mean, and some people say 200,000 people. 200,000 people is quite a bit of people in TV. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody close to Roman Reigns. Not as far as, I mean, talent wise, yeah. I mean, I agree. He says Seth Rollins. I agree talent wise, but I don't think TV wise viewers and that I don't think Seth Rollins is up there. Yeah, as far as talent, I don't know if there's anybody in the ring on the mic that's any more talented than Seth Rollins.
Thing is, with the way the collective bargaining is, I mean, at running backs, that's how it's going to be.
Yes.
There's a lot of guys can come in and play running back effectively where the teams are going to spend the more money on quarterback, offensive line, and defensive line. I mean, that's
well, what they're saying. Cartron and Burris and this other guy, I don't know his name, said the problem is the union. And I guess many years ago, there was a thing called the quarterback club, and Jim Kelly and a few other quarterbacks were unhappy the way the union was representing them and started their own deal. And I don't know really what came of that, but these guys are suggesting maybe the running backs need to do that because they do not feel like the union is representing the running backs properly. I don't know what they can do.
Oh yeah, well, especially now, I don't know what you can do to get it reversed because I mean, perfect example. Chiefs brought in that rookie running back Pachenko or whatever, and they were able to still win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So with teams knowing that, teams seeing that, it's going to be hard to get it reversed.
At one point, I really thought the receiver, that one receiver that went to Tennessee, I really thought he'd be a Chief at one point.
Yeah, I think he decided that he was still more. He's still more about the money than he is maybe being in a place to win a championship. Cause I think that was the whole reason with going to Tennessee. You can't feel like they're a championship contender. And
do you think the Colts made a mistake not going after, considering they're like third as far as cap? I mean, do you think if you add him? But the thing is, with the type of team,
I think offensive line's more important. What the Colts need to worry about the most and I don't know if you make a move or a wide receiver like that, not knowing what you got with quarterback yet.
And he may not want to go there because he don't know what you got there.
I think Richardson has the ability to be great, but how long is the learning curve going to take? He hasn't played a whole lot. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I hope the Colts have a great year this year, but I'm also not one of these guys that think Richardson automatically going to come in. No. We're going to have a winning record this year.
It could be a bust. I mean,
I remember Peyton Manning's rookie season. We were 3-13. He led the league in interceptions. What happened the next year? We were 13-3, and we were in the playoffs. So I mean, I'm not going. If Richardson has a bad first year, I'm not going to write him off. Say, oh, this was a terrible pick. No, you want to see improvement throughout the season and see that he's. The thing that worries me is just his experience. He hasn't played a whole lot of football. That's what worries me more than anything because athletically, he's a freak athlete. He has his ceiling's high, is real high, but can he put it all together? Can the Colts put a team around him to help him as well? And it's going to start. You got to have offensive line. That was something that really struggled last year. Where the last few years our offensive line been pretty good. But we also lost our last franchise quarterback because we didn't have an offensive line.
That's true.
Or we wouldn't be in this situation.
That's true. Yeah, I, as a fan, am originally, 6-7 months ago looking in, I was dead set against Richardson. The only hope I have is this coach that they brought in from Philadelphia and the style of football he wants to play. He feel like he's the perfect fit for it. So I'm hoping he's right, and I put my faith in him, and that's going to work out. Now, do I expect them to be a Super Bowl team next year? No. I would like to see them be competitive and be close to that 500 mark at the least, but we'll see.
The thing is, if they don't take Richardson at 4, who do you take? I wasn't sold on Levis. To me, you traded the pick.
Yeah,
I would have traded back and got.
Yeah, because you could have got Levis third round. Well, what do you think Richards would have dropped to though? If the Colts don't take him 4, do you think he'd have went top 10?
I think so. Just because of his ability, just because of how high his ceiling is. Even though I still think top 10, you're probably overdrafting him, and not to his ability, but to his experience and being ready now
to what he did. Yeah.
Gonna be a Cincinnati Red. You know where I do? Really think he ends up. And I know some people isn't going to like this. Frankie's going to be one of them because he's really hoping he goes to the Yankees. But I think he's going to end up with the Dodgers. The only thing that worries me about him maybe not going to the Dodgers is just because the Angels aren't going to want to trade him to the Dodgers, being that close to the Angels. But I think that's going to end up happening. Or if the Angels don't trade him and he signs in free agency, because think about it, Dodgers have freed up money. They've been freeing up money since last season, hoping to try to get him.
Yep.
And that's why when they got rid of some of the players they got rid of this year, they didn't sign nobody. They're going to make a big push to try to get Ohtani, and I think he wants to stay in the LA area.
Let me ask you, do you think? Now, you guys, I had a question. You guys were talking. You can't trade draft picks. Can you trade the guy you just drafted? He's part of your organization now. So you can trade that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what if the Reds say, if you get Ohtani, it would be a rental, I think, for the Reds. I don't think they have any interest in paying him a ton of money.
Right.
If they thought that, hey, we could put him on this team this year and we'd have a chance to win a World Series, that would be the only way I think the Reds would go after.
Yeah, but you'd have to give up too much, though, for it to be a rental.
Okay, what if you give up a Marte and they need a shortstop? You give up Newman and you give up.
But then you're going to have to give up.
Say you give up.
They're going to want a bunch of prospects and all that stuff.
Well, say you give up that number 1 draft pick you just drafted.
See, now I think they're going to want some 3 or 4 prospects as well. I think it'd be too big of a hold for a rental. I think the only way and that's not just for the Reds, for any team.
Yeah.
For a rental, you'd have to. For me to trade for him, I'd have to know that
Well, I'd
have to know that he's going to sign a contract with him.
That's even the Yankees or the Dodgers. There's no guarantee they're going to have to give up a ton to get him.
Yeah,
and there's no guarantee.
That's what I'm saying. I'd have to know. I'd have to have.
So what if in the back of his head he don't want to be a Yankee? He gets traded to Yankees, and then he goes to the Dodgers in off season.
No,
because the Dodgers could may offer him more money.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm trading for him, I have had to have a talk to him or his agent or something, and I have to have some kind of.
Can they do a trade, a sign trade? Could the Angels sign him to like a deal and then, worked out? You know what I mean, between the clubs. Can that happen?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look into like the rules for Major League Baseball because their stuff's so different. But I'd have to have some kind of guarantee or something that he's going to sign with me if I'm giving up my whole farm to trade for him. And I think that's another thing that can hurt the Angels in trying to trade them is these teams are, you know what I mean? And then, because some of these teams are going to say, well, if nobody's going to give up the haul for him, I'll have a better chance of getting him free agency. Especially if you're the Dodgers, you're going to think you have a better chance in free agency just because the Angels owner's already, the Angels GM or whatever's already basically came out and said he don't want to trade him to the Dodgers, which is to me stupid. You don't.
Who cares?
You don't rule out a possible place.
Why would you want to trade him to the Yankees, who's I know they're not in your division, but they're in the American League. The Dodgers are in the National League. The only time you're gonna see them is in the fucking World Series. So that don't make no sense to me. That's just my opinion.
Hey, how's it going, Frankie? Oh no, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes. But I think if you are the Angels, if you can get a decent amount for him, you almost have to do it just because you're chancing losing them for nothing. You don't want to lose them for nothing in the offseason.
Wouldn't you rather have him than Trout?
Yeah, but the thing is, if he's not going to sign with you during the offseason,
you don't think there's any chance of him signing?
I mean, I think there's still a slight chance. But if he's really worried, if he's really wanting to get somewhere and try to win, I don't think there's much of a chance just because the Angels ain't been able to they've tried, but it seems like injuries or just always something, but they ain't been able to put a good enough. And with their farm system and the situation they're in right now, I think the best thing for them as a team is to get a big haul that you can for them and start rebuilding your team.
Oh,
because you're going to have to give him so much money. How are you going to be able to add anybody to build around them?
Yeah, you're probably right. They're probably the best bet is to.
And with Trout, I mean, you got a lot of money in Trout, who is a great player, but can't has problems staying healthy and staying on the field.
Well, the Yankees have the capital. Like I said, Dodgers got the capital. Reds got the capital. I just don't really want them to see him spend it.
Yeah, and they're not going to pay this dude no $700 million either. No, so no. I don't see them even.
No. And I don't think he'd want to be a Red.
No. Probably not.
So, like you said again, you don't want to spend all that capital or them not sign with you.
Yeah, that's what if I'm trading for him, there has to be I'd be a guarantee this is going to sign with me.
What do you think? The top two teams are probably the Yankees, Dodgers.
Probably. Maybe the Mets. Just because they'll spend the money.
Well, true, but look how far away they are right now. I mean, I know they've got some other players hurt right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, if you know, I mean, it's a big market team.
You don't see Atlanta getting in the mix, do you?
I don't think so. I would say either Dodgers or Yankees are probably would be the top two. But you can see a team like the Mets. I've heard the Cubs. Is he going to want to come to Chicago?
Well, Chicago's got some prospects too. So yeah, they could definitely.
But is Chicago going to want to spend that kind of money to re-sign or to sign the dude?
Yeah.
But all right, you got anything else before we get out here for today?
No, I think I'm ready to go.
My picks for today were the Guardians money line, Reds plus 1.5, Marlins plus 1.5, and the Tigers on the money line. If you missed our interview yesterday with D-Buck Sexton and also Jesse Winchester, they're both pro wrestlers and also are owners and help run the Warrior Pro Wrestling. They got it was a great conversation with them yesterday, talking about the big Fair Fight 2 show coming up this Saturday afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Eastern at the Hendricks County Fair. I had to make sure I got the right fair right. But in Danville, Indiana, should be an awesome show. Fair Fight 1 last year was awesome. Looking for Fair Fight 2 to be real good. I know main event going to be a dog collar match, which I think will be awesome. And you got a ladder match, a big ladder match kicking off the show.
And a bar fight.
barroom fight, women's championship match, tag team triple threat match.
At a Rumble.
So I mean, it should be a great. I think there's seven matches altogether, if I remember correctly. So it should be a great show. We'll be live for that Saturday afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Join us on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter at Gonzo Sports Room, and at the ASAP All Sports All Plays Network. But that should be a good time. And then if you missed the WCWO from Saturday night at the Boys and Girls Club in Greenfield, Indiana, we aired that last night on our YouTube, Twitch, Twitter pages. So go check that out. That was another solid show, like always from WCWO. So go check that out as well. And then we'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock ASAP afternoon blitz, then right around 3:30 with the Easy Money, a sports betting show. Don't forget to check out Unscripted tonight. They're having Robert Duran Jr. be on there tonight. So make sure you go check that out. 7 p.m. Eastern. You can find out on the ASAP Sports Network and at Unscripted on their Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and all that. But we appreciate everybody joining us, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show.